This is a Headgum podcast.
Hey bitch, what is your whole deal? Hey bitch, just tell us how you feel. You wished for a sign from above. Well, here's a podcast about boy sex, fucking, dating, and love. Seek treatment if you're boring as fuck. Seek treatment if you're unlucky in love. Seek treatment if you just can't take a hint. Well, seek treatment with Kat and Pat.
Hey, it's Pat.
And it actually is Pat against all odds.
And this is Seek Treatment, a podcast about boys, sex, fucking, dating, and love.
loving.
We're live in the studio with
and love and by the way, love isn't a feeling, it's a verb. And Instagram told me that. And by the way, Instagram told me that.
And you have to choose love every day. Every day you wake up and you choose to be in your relationship. Anyways, we are here with an amazing guest.
And Instagram told us that.
Instagram tells us a lot. I feel comfortable saying our guest is an absolute star, and he has a new Netflix special. Can you even imagine?
Oh my God.
Can you even imagine? Put your ears open for
imagine.
the Langston Kerman.
Yay! All right.
How are you?
Langston.
I'm excited. I was listening to the rundown of everything that this podcast is about, and I hope to be able to contribute something.
Well, know that
I'm
we
excited.
don't mean that this podcast isn't about anything, and no one knows if what we're going to talk about is good, bad, or anything.
I have to share it. I'm so sorry. You have really beautiful furniture. What's going on with that?
Yeah, whatever happened that you got that.
We hired a decorator somewhat recently, and
oh my God,
she nailed it.
That
She
chair,
did
that
good
light
work.
blue. Is that light blue? That chair?
Yeah, that's light blue.
That's
That's
very
light blue. You're
special.
saying there.
Those
Kat,
chairs-
that's
I'm
you're
not
gonna want to call that
colorblind.
light blue.
I can fly a plane. I'm gonna fly a plane today.
Did you know that every gay person in Los Angeles is an interior designer, except for me and a few others?
And a few notable others, but everybody else.
Langston, it's
Interior
crazy.
design.
I've lived here for a year. I've only met interior designers. It's insane, and it's
That's
getting scary.
Insanity.
Are you taking advantage of those relationships in any way?
No, I tried to move because I'm not gonna stay here, so I'm not gonna go all out. But I'm not gonna stay here, meaning this specific apartment. And did you know I tried to get a beautiful space a week ago, and it's not a good time for me to move in any case, but I did try because it was really a nice spot, and I offered to pay 1 full year in advance. And do you know what they told me? No, thank you.
Really?
Whoa.
Why?
But it was a very competitive situation. There were lots of people, and when I first got a rental, but what if I was this is how I tell you I'm buying.
Imagine we have the same podcast. We make the same amount of money, which is, by the way, you guys, literally nothing. And you are buying a house, and I'm sitting next to my cold, wet clothes.
Cold, wet clothes. No, it was a rental, and it's not a good time for me to move anyways. But it's that classic thing of when you're busy with work, it's when you have all the paychecks to show them and be see, look, I matter. And then you can't have time to move. And then when you do have time to move, they're well, you don't seem to really make a single cent.
Yeah, I don't trust that you'll ever make another dollar again in your life. So no, thank you.
Yeah.
Langston, how long have you been in LA?
Since 2017, so 7 years now.
Wow.
And what do you
Coming up
think?
on 8.
And tell me I'm wrong. You're literally married with a child.
I'm married with 2 children.
Don't
You
tell
have
me
2.
that.
I'm shook.
I have 2 children. Yeah.
How old are these kids?
One is 2.5. She'll be 3 in October, so more than 2.5. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a man who talks.
October when?
October 7th.
Okay, so she's very much a Virgo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, a Libra.
Yeah, she's a Libra. See, I really don't know. Yeah.
Whatever you say,
babes. I always get Libras and Virgos confused the dates.
That's okay, Pat. That's
a subscriber? Are you a subscriber to the witchcraft, or are you just
no? But
aware of it?
I'm not a subscriber, but you know that my birthday is on Halloween, and so I am a Scorpio, and so
inherently a witch or a warlock or a wizard, whatever one would say.
Thank you.
To gender your magical journey.
Yeah,
it's important that I gender your journey.
the gender of my magic is fluid,
Yeah.
and
This is non-binary magic, and we're not gonna put it in a bucket.
I
some
love
days.
it.
But wait, I don't really believe in astrology except for that. Like, I always connect with other Scorpios, so I was wondering if I wouldn't have had to connect with your daughter.
Oh no,
We
yeah,
have to get your daughter on the pod. She'd love it.
She would love it. It actually scares the shit out of me because I'm not an exceptionally extroverted person. My wife is not a very extroverted person, and for some reason she is the most extroverted person
Really,
I've
And
ever come
yet
across in my life.
you're a star of stage and screen, and you call yourself an introvert.
Well, yeah, I'm doing drugs at 8:30 just to make this
Oh my
manageable
god.
for
Wait, first of all,
everybody.
I'm so sorry. I completely forgot that it's 8:30
Yeah, no.
are you
and
mad
you're
at us?
furious.
I've been up since 6, folks.
I know,
Children ruin your lives,
I
and
know.
Did you
that's
always want
okay.
kids?
I think so. I tell my wife all the time that had I had for whatever reason she not wanted kids or it wouldn't have been possible, that I easily could have seen myself in a life without them. But
Yeah.
now having kids, I obviously don't feel that way. There is no
Oh,
life without these fucking losers. That
really?
yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah.
you something?
Yeah, please. What if I said no?
On your podcast? Can you come on our podcast
I'm
and
only gonna do cat questions from here on out.
You got your one question, which is my daughter a Libra? Is your wife in the space? The space being in the entertainment industry.
Are they
No.
in the room with him?
She sits right next to me just to make sure I don't flirt with either of you.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
she's losing that fight because you can't keep your paws off us lately.
No,
What kind of drugs are you doing at 8 a.m.?
I'm just smoking a little weed. Come on,
Wow, I wish I
Oh,
liked that. Wouldn't that be good for me?
officer.
I wish I liked it. Aren't I fun?
You
I
don't
wish
you
I could.
don't smoke at all?
It couldn't sit worse with me.
Oh, that's
It
unfortunate.
it is. Maybe
I
in
don't. I
my
was never weed. I wish I could wake up and pop 30 mg XR Adderall.
Whoa.
That's what I wish I could. Well,
That's a real different energy for the morning.
I'm an addict, but I'm sober now. But I loved anything like I've just been on a lifelong quest to feel awake for 1 second, and I'm only.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet, but I'm only 35, so
You got time.
I have about 40. I have about 40 years
Yeah.
to look for being awake. Because did you know since I was young, I always assumed I would die when I was 75.
That's a great age
And
to go at.
I'm
when you say
so full.
assumed, are you like aiming for it? Or are you like, no, that's just when I think it'll do its own business?
Kind of the latter. Like I've just always lived with a real inherent knowledge that I will leave this earth at 75.
Mm. How are you presuming you go?
I don't know, like something like random, like something that something where they're like, oh, this was he's actually had this all along, but it didn't really matter, and it like kind of reared its ugly head. But he's 75, and no one really knows it. It's the kind of thing where it's like, well, he was old, so it's like not that sad, but it is kind of young. You know what I mean? Like,
75 is kind of young because when you meet someone who's
and my
75, they're like, okay, you're like still really doing it.
I don't realize now
I
that
think people cry more when people die at 75 because it's too close to too many people's ages. And so they're like, fuck. I don't want that one. Come on.
I just want to be famous enough for when I die, it's part of a 3. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
that's nice.
when people say they die in 3s, like if I died right now, like and 2 other people died, people would be like, "Oh, I guess it comes in 2s right now," because they wouldn't count me as a 3rd. I just want to be a 3rd.
You want to hear it's like, oh, Tracy Morgan, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes,
that's a really powerful trio. That's really
I wonder who my graduating class will be.
Stop.
My 2 other people I die with. Wait, do you know what I'm realizing now? Because I was thinking about when I die when I'm 75. I'm like, oh, my grandkids will probably be in like 7th grade. Like I am like but I'm like, I don't think I'll have kids, but I do think I'll have grandkids, and I don't know how the math is going to work.
You know, maybe you'll be stepdaddy.
I would never be a stepdad.
Why? I think that sounds so fun to be a stepmom.
I'm not gonna be a gay stepdad. That's a crazy.
There's crazier things to be, Pat.
You could. become a step grandfather, which seems very different than becoming a stepdaddy. That
Totally,
like
Yeah.
but don't you think there's
you
this don't you think there's a certain implication then that I'm marrying someone who's, like, late in life gay, who, like, raised their family with a woman and now is gay, and, like, I'm kind of their second act?
I feel
Like, I
like
don't
you'd
want
love
that.
that. I feel like you'd be
it's
obsessed
not
with
my
that.
place to judge that part of it. I think
Or
you
here's
figure
a
it out when you figure it out.
these are my options for
You could
step-parenthood.
eventually
Is
get
it
with Langston and raise his Scorpio daughter.
That's
Hey,
true,
and
that's true.
I'm bringing fine furniture with me.
Oh my
It's
god.
you look like you're in a catalog, and it's
Yeah.
just crazy.
I
Now,
will wait,
tell.
these are my 2 options for gay step-parenthood. Either
Okay.
Okay.
either I'm someone's true second act in that they've, like, married a woman, raised their kids, and now they're, like, trying to, like and now they're gay, like Lena Dunham, like
The
Hannah's
kids
dad.
rip open a drawer and there's all these salacious letters to
Oh,
a
Yes.
gentleman that
wow.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's actually cool. You're making it sound cool, but, like, I don't think I I don't think I wanna be someone's second act in that way, or I'm dating this gay guy who's been gay all along where, like, you got with a guy, kind of, like, married the guy, and, like, you're adopting or you're doing surrogacy with this man, and then you're getting divorced, and then I'm married. Something about, like, the amount of intention it takes to parent as a gay guy, like, then to get divorced is so embarrassing to me, and I don't mean this with any
Okay.
disrespect to gay divorced parents who I love and will die for, and I fight for your rights every single day in the Senate. Okay, so
Let me present a third option to
okay,
you.
okay.
Okay, notebook style. You and a lover
Ooh,
that you find young part
Mm.
ways. You go have your own lives. You build your own relationships, but secretly in the back of your mind, you know that you're supposed to be together. You were
Oh,
always the one for this person, and
yeah,
boom. 40 years later, you find each other. Sure, he's got kids, but you don't mind because you finally lock in with your person. Then dementia sets in
oh.
and
yes.
you start forgetting everything, and he
Oh,
has to
I'm the
put a
one who has it.
pillow. Yeah, absolutely. And he has to put a pillow over your face to
Stop.
get this done with.
Oh my god,
75.
that could be cool, except I feel like that option has escaped me because I feel like if I were going to have that ex, I would have had them by now, and I don't have any exes that I'm like, "Oh,
Oh god.
I should be with them." Do you know what I mean?
I'm so sorry.
All anyone I've dated, no offense to anyone I've dated, I'm like, "That will never come back."
There's nothing romantic about your exes coming back around, you mean?
Yeah, I don't have that one that got away,
I
Yeah,
really.
used to be I used to be
we really did the
so
closing ceremony on that relationship.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I interrupted you.
No,
No,
we keep on interrupting
no.
you, and you're the one
Your
with
job is to
some
interrupt us and tell us to stop being how we are on this
Yeah,
No,
podcast.
you're
Wrangler.
great. What a dream.
Oh,
Langston, we've never met.
what a dream.
We've never met, right, Langston?
I think we've been on like shows,
Shows,
but I don't
totally.
know that we've had any substantial conversation before.
And look at you
That
now. Look, it's just flowing. It's just
It's
fucking
flowing.
it's
flowing.
just it
We first
literally
met, I remember,
I
at Union Hall because I remember you came on and did It's a Guy Thing, which is a show I used to do with
yes,
Patty and Mitra a million years ago, and we were so starstruck to have you
very
on
fun show. Whoa,
because
that's insane.
aren't you Chicago?
Originally,
Y
yeah. I actually only did like 9 months in Chicago before I moved to Boston, and I was in Boston for 3 years. So
Boston. Now,
Oh, that's such an
yeah.
why?
interesting route. That's such an
Now
interesting
tell
route
us
you took.
why.
Yeah.
I went there for grad school and
No.
stuck around to teach high
Wow.
school for 2 years.
Taught high
Oh
school.
I
my
taught high school,
can you
yeah.
imagine the student how much did they love you? They must have lost their minds.
So some of them did, and then a lot of them resented me deeply because they wanted me to be cool, and I wasn't
You
fucking
weren't
cool. You know what I
cool,
mean?
but look at you
I mean,
now
I was
smoking
cool.
weed in the morning on a podcast. If they could see you now, bitch. Well,
I
let's
was cool as an adult. I wasn't gonna hang out with fucking 14-year-olds and vibe with them,
No,
so they
be
didn't
cool,
like that.
dude. Go to their house. What
Yeah.
I now
Where
the
did you go to
first
grad school? Where'd you go to grad school? Where'd you go to grad school?
I went to Boston University. I got an MFA in poetry, and
Oh my
then
god, Langston.
yeah, yeah.
Langston, you're
I
flirting with us.
Where is your wife? Well, let's
Sweet. So,
Don't you think
okay.
this is the perfect time to dive into our first and
Yeah.
only question for the podcast? Langston, who were you? Who are you? And who do you wanna be?
And we can help guide 'cause I
Mm,
have so many questions. The question jumping
yeah.
out at me right now is when did your wife JYJ join your journey?
Okay. I was stressed. The little space in between JYJ and Join Your Journey. I've never had more stress in my life.
JYJ is crazy.
We've been together for 9 years now, and we've
Wow.
been married for almost 5.
Wow.
Wow.
And we met while I was living in New York. She was living in Baltimore, and we did 2 years long distance before we ever lived in the same city.
Wait, so you were
And
Chicago,
H.
Boston. You were Chicago, Boston, New York, LA.
No,
Chicago, Boston, New York, LA.
Chicago, Boston,
Chicago,
New
Boston,
York
New
for
York,
almost
Where did
5
you grow
years, and
up?
now LA. In Oak Park, Chicago.
Okay, so okay,
Yeah,
got you.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then how did you meet your wife?
One of my best friends did Teach for America with her, and then we
Wow.
were both visiting that friend, and like kicked it that weekend, and then I spent months trying to persuade her to keep kicking it, even though we lived 3 hours away from each other.
Yeah, you were in the
And
teacher's lounge. Y'all were just being so sweet.
Yes.
That's what all the kids
Is-
want. Like, they're flirting. They're flirting.
I know, and
Mr.
all the kids,
Mr. Kerman, you love
and then
her.
like for the and then when you proposed, you did it with like the kids like brought in the ring, and all the kids were there.
That's
Yay.
right. I do. A bunch of kids, and I dressed the dog up in a tuxedo, and
Yeah,
yeah,
flash
it
mob.
was very traditional in that sense.
It's it's such a vibe. Like, it's like a moment that like you never forget. Like a teacher in your school getting married, and like you come back from summer, and it's like Mrs. Vitola is going to be Mrs. Buchanan now because she got
Yeah.
married over the summer. It's like,
I
okay.
still get upset about some of my teachers having to change their names. I was so committed to who they were, and now I had to learn a new thing. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
now with
Well,
modern
don't worry
times, and
because I'm not gonna change my name because I have a Wikipedia page. Calm down.
Yeah.
Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's freaking out.
hey guys, as I sit here, it just so happens to be the Sunday of Labor Day weekend, which means it's going to be fall soon, which means it could quite possibly be considered cozy season, if that is something you connect with. And the best place to go on a cool fall evening actually is inside a cool, dark theater where you can watch an amazing show more easily than ever thanks to a little thing that I personally like to call Today Ticks. And the reason I call it Today Ticks is because that's what it's called. Today Ticks offers the best value on tickets to amazing things going on all around you and the easiest way to get them. Just go to the Today Ticks app or visit todayticks.com and scroll through their offerings. There's stuff you've always wanted to check out and stuff you've probably never even heard about otherwise. I got Today Ticks to take my sister to see Broadway shows, to get my parents tickets for Christmas. When I was famously in London, I went to see My Fair Lady at the West End using, Today Ticks, which I found similar to the film She's All That. Some new and noteworthy shows you might want to see is Oh Mary with friend of the podcast, Cola Scola, English, Eureka Day, maybe Happy Ending, or maybe you like an adaptation like Romeo and Juliet, Sunset Boulevard, Death Becomes Her. Who doesn't love that film? Imagine if it was, in fact, a live production. The Picture of Dorian Gray, Queer Coded. And they also have revivals, Home, Our Town, The Pirates of Penzance, which I've never seen, and I never have felt comfortable saying Penzance out loud because I've only really seen it in writing. And then historically, I haven't been positive if I was saying it right. And that feels really cool to come clean about. Or if you're dying to see something based on real people, which is a very real urge that nobody talks about, then may I recommend A Wonderful World, which is about Louis Armstrong, or Tammy Faye, which is actually about Tammy Faye. Then you can check out in just a few taps and get your tickets sent right to your phone. They've got tickets to shows on Broadway and the West End, and in other cities across the country and around the world. You can book a show in advance or be spontaneous and check out what's on for tonight. And on Today Ticks, you also get access to exclusive pre-sales, lotteries, and specially priced rush tickets. So go to todayticks.com/seektreatment and use promo code SEEKTREATMENT to get $20 off your first Today Ticks purchase. That's promo code SEEKTREATMENT at todayticks, tix.com/seektreatment. todayticks.com/seektreatment. This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher, a new comedy created by and starring Brian Jordan Alvarez, who is our dear friend and so effing funny, you guys. From Paul Sins, the executive producer of the amazing show What We Do in the Shadows, English Teacher follows Evan, who's a teacher in Austin, Texas, where, yes, we've been. And he
Yeah.
learns if it's really possible to be your full self at your job while often finding himself at the intersection of the personal, professional, and political aspects of working at a high school.
We love to watch Seek treatment guests thrive, and so y'all know we will be tuning in to watch The English Teacher, so you should tune in too. Tune in. FX's English Teacher is now streaming on Hulu. All new Mondays on FX.
Are you getting married soon?
Isn't that an amazing question? No, but I think
you
as someone,
must be.
everyone, Pat's all of a sudden this summer, Pat's like, you need to get married. It's
Well,
pathetic.
I feel like going to a wedding lately.
Yeah, I feel like having a wedding lately. I've been with my boyfriend 5 years, so it's definitely
Okay.
his move, as they say.
Sure.
But
Where's
we
he
all
sitting?
yeah. Brian, shut the fuck up. No, he's cutie patootie. Okay, can I tell you guys this? I Zoomed with one of my psychics, not the main one, last
Okay.
week. Langston, calm down, you're screaming at me. And she goes, this is actually so funny. She's like, I just saw how you're gonna get engaged. And I was like, okay, can you tell me? And she's like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I was like,
Oh, fuck
okay.
you, bitch.
I was like, tell me. Tell me.
I guess, okay, and maybe I need to be fair. The skeptic in me immediately goes, now you're a fraud if you're gonna
Right.
bring it up and not tell me.
I
I don't believe
know.
anything you're saying from
I
now on.
know. I think
What
he's gonna do it
makes
at
you think it's
Christmas,
fine?
but there's no reason why I should think that. Except that it
Does he
seems like a
look
nice time.
do you both love the Lord? Is that a meaningful
He's
time for you?
Jewish but do I love the Lord? I wouldn't say I love the Lord. Well, I start crying. I don't love the Lord, but I love the God that exists in my mind.
Yes, you love the Lord, but you're not in love
In
with the
love with the
Lord.
Lord, sure.
I'm in lust with the Lord. I'm in
Did I ever
limerence.
tell you? Did I ever tell you about my teacher who changed her name's writer's notebook when she read her writer's notebook to the class?
No, what?
Whoa.
I can't stop thinking about it. Like my language arts teacher, my LA teacher, she like got married and like changed her name and from Mrs. Bowen to Mrs. Vitola,
To
and she
Mrs.
like
Yang.
yeah.
She changed her name.
She
and
doesn't know how names work, but she did change it to Mrs. Bowen.
and she and then like every in the first 5 minutes of every class you were supposed to just write your writer's notebook, and then she would like grade papers and stuff. And then one day she was like, hey class, like I've actually been keeping my own writer's notebook and I would like to read you what I wrote today. And it was like so random. We were 11 and she was like, she read this like passage she wrote about like the night before her cat like jumped on her and scratched her face and she had to go to the emergency room. Her new husband had to drive her to the emergency room. And I just remember, because I remember thinking, wow, like that's her brand new husband. Like he's driving her to the emergency room. Like what if she had never been married? But then she was like, and then she goes, I just will always remember this line from Mrs. Vitola's writer's notebook. Then she goes, my husband hurried me to the hospital. All I kept thinking was, I'm missing ER. My husband said, you're going to the real ER right now. And I just remember thinking as I was 11, like, oh, you just wanted to like read that joke to us. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
she was just
God.
open micing for a bunch of children.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, what else? Any birthdays coming
Yeah.
up?
Oh my God. That's well,
yeah.
God bless. Wait,
God
Langston,
bless
what
her
were you like
words.
in high school?
I played basketball for the first 3 years of high school. I was on the basketball team and
Mhm.
thought that was gonna be my journey, and then got cut from like varsity and was on the
Oh,
junior varsity, sort of like truly end of the bench of the junior like never seeing any version
oh
of
my
playing
God.
time. And so I decided to join the spoken word club at school.
Oh my
I like
God. What a gift.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna just go try something completely else
Very
because this
Did you
is
say
not gonna work.
Did you
it's
say
very
new
high.
path activated when you got there? Yeah.
Well, it's very High School Musical coded to go from basketball to spoken
Yeah.
word club.
Yeah, and listen, I vibe with those films in a
Yeah,
multitude of ways.
yeah.
But yeah, I truly was like, nah, I'm just gonna go see if I'm maybe good at something other than this because clearly this
Wow.
ain't working and I'm not getting bigger. And so it started just filling time, but then I became like sort of the face of the spoken word club in
Oh
our
my
school
god, that's
for
amazing.
Wow.
So you just loved it
yeah.
And
right away?
Yeah, I took to it pretty well, I
and
think.
and were you partnered in high school?
Yeah, I had girlfriends, throughout most of it. I had,
That's
like,
really
2
rare on our
major
it's
girlfriends.
really rare on
Yeah,
our podcast to
to
have
have
Oh,
a
really? Everybody's just a dork who didn't get none?
yeah,
yeah,
that's why
no,
we are
no.
here.
We didn't have partners in high school.
Ever? Never once,
No, Langston, rub it
anybody?
in.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Never once.
Did
Oh
you
my
go to
god.
okay, so but, like, dances and shit, did you find dates, or were you, like, going with friends? How did that work?
Our dances were very, like, asexual, like, they were just like the proms, really, the ones that people went to, and, like, you would just ask someone, but it wasn't like, "Oh, we're gonna fuck after." It was like, we sit next to each other at the table, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was just a
Yeah.
companion.
Yeah, it was a non-sexual commitment. No, I also was fully gay, so, like, maybe for straight people, like, they were like, "We're gonna have sex after this." But
Yeah, that was very much my hope after every dance.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
god,
"This
did
is
you
the."
lose your V at the prom?
I no, I lost my V.
Don't make
I
fun of
lost
me.
I lost it maybe a few months before my
Wow.
junior prom because
Few
my
months ago.
girlfriend
Wow.
was she was older than me, so
Wow, how
Oh
much
my
older are we?
god,
How
good
much
she
older are
was
we
a
for
talking?
you.
senior, I was a junior.
That's
Nice. That's
It
nice.
was
electric.
it was naughty. It
That's
was
frowned upon. That's
I
frowned
will I know,
upon,
I will
Mr.
say
Kerman.
I do, and I'm not proud of this, I'm finding myself frowning upon it, like, there's something unnatural with a junior boy and senior girl.
I felt the
Wow.
same.
Do you know what's
I
do you know what's
I
this is how it is. Okay, unna junior boy, senior girl,
This is the new
unnatural.
segment called "This Is How It Is."
Junior boy,
play the cue, play the music.
junior boy, senior girl, unnatural. Senior boy, junior girl, beautiful. Senior boy,
Mm.
sophomore girl, kinky. Senior boy, freshman girl, weird.
I, like, can't even
Senior
keep track of what you're saying. It's happening so fast. You
senior girl, sophomore boy, she's senior boy, sophomore boy never happens.
jail.
I was about to say
Jail.
that's psychotic.
That's
Senior
straight to prison.
senior girl, freshman boy, there's something going on at home for all parties.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, the sophomore boy is almost crazier than the freshman one. The freshman
Yeah,
one, it feels like, oh, okay, we got to worry about these kids in a grander way, but
Mm.
the sophomore one is like, nah, you're a fucking
totally.
sicko.
It's
Yo,
yeah,
what's wrong with you?
now it's like
Stop.
he's been around for a year, the novelty's gone, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, of course. I think
No,
all
we're the
kids
3 preeminent experts on what
are.
age high schoolers should be dating each other. Okay, so
Okay, so you lost your virginity to a senior girl and you're a junior boy.
Yeah, that's right.
meanwhile, you're doing spoken poetry nonstop.
Yeah, I was doing spoken word poetry
And then how
and
did you decide to get your MFA? Because that's, like, such a major
well,
situation.
I graduated, and I believe I'm older than both of you. I graduated in 2000, in 2000 college in 2009, height of the economic
Ah,
crash,
mhm.
You're only a
and so,
year older than me, agreed.
okay, fair enough. Someday
Yeah.
You're
you'll
a
get to my
lot,
age.
a
So
lot, a lot.
your girl that you lost your virginity to would have never dated me because I would have been a sophomore when she was a senior.
Stop, and you're gay.
And she was a reasonable lady.
Yeah.
And she's not really into gay guys.
Okay, so you
Okay,
graduated into the
so
recession.
Yeah,
can you go back to
graduated at the
school for
height of the
me? You
recession.
go
I
back to
said I'm
school.
going back to school,
Good.
and I went back to. I figured that if I got an MFA in poetry, I could still at least teach when everything fell through, and lo and behold, everything fell through, and I went into teaching.
Yeah. So
Wow.
were you in Boston just for the time you were in school, or did you stick around after?
I did my year. It's the MFA program. Part of why I picked it was a year long, so it was a shorter MFA than
Mm.
the sometimes 3 year programs that are often out there. And then I spent 2 years teaching in Boston.
Interesting. Did you do stand up there?
Yeah, I had already started stand up before I got to Boston, so I
And
was like,
why stand up? I asked for all of us. Why are we doing
yeah,
this?
because I maybe we all had this dumb experience of like I again I had graduated, I went to school, I went to a good school, I got good grades and the shit didn't work. And so I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, like this thing that I've always thought about doing or at least thought was cool, fuck it, I'll try it. Like had I, gotten an advertising job and just been able to sustain myself, I don't know that I would have ever felt the urgency to find it, certainly not as quickly as I did. It was just like,
Mm.
oh, okay, you're forcing my hand here because I ain't got shit else and I live with my mom. This sucks.
Yeah. I did you know that BU has the fastest indoor track in the world?
Say more about that.
I don't know how if it was recent, but basically like somewhere around to me it felt like 2015 all of a sudden like it was all about BU
Wait, by the
indoors.
way, I'm
And
sorry about my fake Stanley. Don't look at me.
I got
I don't-
I
Ours-
got the saddest water bottle lately, but it's good. But I got one in a concerted effort to protect my dear friend, the environment, because I was drinking too much Poland Spring bottles.
are the Stanleys what's the technology there? I've heard talk of them being like some sort of technological advancement and I don't quite
I know.
understand.
What's the
I was
science?
so curious about like why everyone wanted this so bad. Okay, now I'm doing something kind of weird, but it keeps your drink cold
Okay, but
Don't
you
they
don't even
all keep your drink cold?
for
and you
like
don't even
24 hours.
but
Oh,
you
it's
don't
like
even like cold water.
I know, and thank you for making me feel so seen and known, but I'm kind of enjoying it when I use when I have my electrolytes. It's good to have it cold.
Yeah.
And
oh.
I'm
By the
this
way,
is this is this is I'm in my electrolyte era. I get shot
look
in
at
the
my
leg.
look at my look at my product placement. Catherine, did you get this where you are?
What's that?
Moon juice.
Oh, I love the girls who work at Moon Juice are really special, but I
Our
haven't
What
dear
because
it
our
I have
dear
mental
friend
health.
our dear friend Gwyneth Paltrow sent us moon juice.
No, she's
what
not Moon Juice.
what's moon
She is
juice?
moon juice, someone told me.
I
No.
heard she's moon juice. She's
You
100% moon
guys.
juice.
You're
No,
so
I heard
You're so
alright, well,
misguided, it's funny.
I read this out if it isn't true, but someone told me that moon juice is, like, connected to goop somehow.
Oh, well, I could be completely wrong. What do I know? Anyways,
Anyways,
so then
Wait, what's moon juice?
it's like
oh, Moon Juice is an advertiser for our
but it
podcast.
yes, but it's
But like what's their thing? Like what does
like
it taste like?
nootropics, like,
It's
I don't know,
like
I had one yes
vitamins and electrolytes, and they do really good stuff, and I'm not just saying that
Okay.
because, we're gonna do an ad for them. I actually used them
well,
before I knew that.
Oh yeah.
it's my favorite kind of thing in terms of, like, it's not drugs, so I'm allowed to do it, but it's like I'm allowed to have it, but it's like there's things on the thing where it's like, "This is for relaxing, this is for being
Yeah,
focused,"
it's
and I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh, this might be a way to make me how different from how I am," which is, of course, the end
which
Was
is
goal.
important.
was
Oh, yeah.
was drugs like your thing or was it alcohol? What was like
It was
your
both, but it was, like, a lot of not even cool drugs, it was a lot of, like, pills and stuff, but then,
Oh
like, of
shit.
course, your Cokes and Mollies, anything that was, like, generally being up, and then, like but then, like, opiates sometimes if it was, like, that kind of a day, but, like, I was also so
If he was having a bad day.
No, not even a bad day, but a day where it was, like well, whatever, I just did lots and lots of pills, like, I couldn't get enough of the stuff, and, like, and yeah, I don't know.
Is it when you say like, "Oh, I miss like the Adderall," you know what I mean? Like, is
Yeah.
that what was that feeling that you could wake up and just do an
Mm.
Adderall?
Well, I never was prescribed it. I would, like, steal pills and buy pills, but I was also always so broke, so it was always, like, so hard to get enough, and, like, I would always be, like with Adderall, it would be, like, I would have a certain amount I would start on, and I'd be like, this'll just be 4 hours, and then, like, it's a feeling of, like feeling happy finally and like awake and like, and then it starts to go away and it's this like alarm bell of like this can't end, and then like taking more, and then all of a sudden buying more, and then all of a sudden like you've been awake for 3 days and like
Fuck.
and
Oh
like
my
you
god.
and you like and you haven't eaten and you haven't seen anyone, and like
What would you
um
do when you were like, what would you do when you were on it?
I don't even like, it depended because like for the first like I mean it started kind of in college, so I would like kind of be in the library, but then I would like try to all of a sudden I'd be writing something else, like just my for what I don't know, and then like
Just
sometimes
those journals your teacher was asking you guys
yeah,
to
talking about the ER.
I'm missing
Sometimes
ER.
it was literally just like mad, like in my apartment, just writing all over things, and like there was just things everywhere, and like then I would get really horny and go on Grinder or like open like a million porn tabs, and or like and then but then I didn't have an apartment for a long time, so it would be like walking around, just like walking around, and like yeah, it was like that kind of stuff.
Can I just say that this feels like a perfect ad for Moon Juice?
Yeah.
The fact that Moon Juice can make you feel
Well, I
even remotely close to those 3-day hellscapes you just
don't.
described means that Moon Juice is the product for you. You gotta buy Moon Juice today.
Well, I'm not, it's like, but I'm always thinking it's
100%.
gonna be like what I thought that would, I didn't even like after years, I never was like, oh, this will now set off a 4-day hellscape. It was always like, it will be different this time. I'll be normal this time.
Oh my god, poor
But
I
then you
think
baby.
I got
always,
the perfect mix this time. I think.
yeah. But then there was like sometimes you had to go to things like I would be like at parties or like at shows and then drinking after, and then like someone had Molly and someone had Coke, and it was just like it would just one thing would always lead to like the next thing. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Well,
Kat, you don't are you you seem more sober than you would like the world to believe.
wait. Let me process that. I actually was thinking, I mean, since I was 15, I would say I've been binge drinking since I was about 15 years old, but
Mm,
I do it much more infrequently now.
I
And I
got you.
feel like it doesn't hit the same. I feel like I got like really drunk like once this year and it was just horrible. So I'm kind of like, but I love like a cocktail after a show.
Yeah.
What's
That
your,
it's a nice vibe.
it's the
I
best.
I'm just
What's your vice?
yeah, I think I'm done with drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I rarely do it anymore at all, but I had a long time where I was like I used to get blackout on fucking like
Oh my God.
Kraken, you know what I mean? Like
Yes, I do.
I would mix Coca-Cola. I would get a 20 ounce of Coca-Cola, pour out like a third of it, and just mix Kraken into that and ride the train places and be drunk before I showed up for like,
It used to be
I don't
so fun. It used to be like the best
yeah,
feeling. And like,
it was so
and then,
nice.
yeah. And then I think during the pandemic, I started drinking way too much because I was so depressed. And I feel like have been
You were
kind of,
the only one. It's crazy.
well, I know. And I was someone who didn't, I thought the pandemic was a bad thing, which is crazy because no one else did that. But it was like scary. I was literally at my parents' house at like waiting for it to turn 4 at like 3:59 PM, being like, "Okay, at 4, I can, like, open this bottle of wine and have the whole thing, and
Fuck.
then just keep going until I fall asleep." So, I don't do that, but
Yeah.
I
Hell yeah.
what I do wish is that I wish I could enjoy weed because I think it would be nice for something to calm my anxiety that isn't Xanax because I don't wanna get addicted to Xanax, which I
It
really
took me
love.
a it took me a long time. Please don't get addicted to Xanax.
I
I don't wanna
won't. I won't.
speed past that. It took me a long time to get comfortable with weed, so maybe,
Really?
revisit. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
work towards that.
there were years where, like,
Goals.
I had massive anxiety with
Oh my
weed and, like,
god.
could not handle being in any sort of social setting with it, and now I just found, like, the right, you know, vibe to sort of settle into it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And then so okay.
So yeah, wait. So
Who
you
so
start doing
you find
stand up and
comedy, you're getting your MFA, you're teaching, you're in love with your
Yeah.
soon to be wife. When did you decide you wanted to propose?
So we moved to LA together. She had no
Mm,
intention of moving to New York.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
LA
why?
was the compromise.
interesting.
Why?
She went to Columbia and I think had her time in New York and
Mhm.
also is a lawyer and like had a pretty easy version of that
Yeah.
experience, like was in walking distance to work and like lived in a really nice sort of like high-rise apartment out in Baltimore like by
Yeah.
the fucking pier and shit. So when
Oh,
it
it's so
all
nice.
came down to it, she's like, I don't want to have to get on the train, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go
Yeah,
and be a lawyer, then come back at weird hours
and
and
watch you in
just
Gowanus.
feel
Where did she,
yeah, it's just it
It's like, "Honey,
feels
I'm
like a
not going to
taxing
support you."
lifestyle.
Yeah.
where did she
Yeah.
live? You know, I know Baltimore a little bit. Where did she live? If you feel comfortable saying.
Harbor East.
Cool, I don't know that. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
so nice
like
down there by the harbor. Fells Point.
yeah,
Fells Point. Tell her Fells Point.
exactly.
Tell her I say Fells Point.
Baby, Pat says Fells Point.
What kind of lawyer is she?
Um, she does nonprofit law and
Oh,
some tax exempt work. So she's
incredible.
both a hero and a villain at the same time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Wow, and so y'all moved to LA, and were you instantly like, "I love it here, I'm thriving"?
No.
I was like, "He's frozen."
I do I do love LA,
But
but
now
it
look at you.
I think I love it more just because like I got kids and like I need a space, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
for them to exist. But no, I miss comedy in New York. I miss the energy
Really?
of New
Were
York a
you like
lot.
doing were you like celery?
No,
Were you doing
I didn't get in the cellar
Carrots,
until I
potatoes,
left.
celery,
Yeah.
onions,
Because like
mirepoix.
when people say they like the stand-up scene so much better in New York, I mean, I've only been here for a year, but and maybe it's the thing of like having been in New York so long that I've done most of the stuff there that like now and here everything still feels
Yeah.
new. But like I'm finding it similar, the like that kind of alt side scene. Do you know what I mean? Where you,
I think the energies of the alt scene are similar. I
yeah,
think that there are less spaces to go do the job in LA. Like there I just used to be able to get up every single night as, you
Mm,
know, to some extent multiple times a night if I was
yeah,
willing to push for it. And I don't even think that's an option just living off of the alt scene alone in LA. Like you would
yeah,
have to really become a club person, you would have to really start to adjust to like playing the Laugh Factory and the fucking
yeah,
mhm.
improv and like
yeah,
you know, the story. You have to be one of those
yeah.
guys to be able to make it work every night out here.
I know, and people are those guys. Do you ever wish you were?
Yeah. I worry all the time
Me
about not
too.
Me
being that.
too. Me every day.
Where I go
Should we
like
all be that in 2025? We're all like in front of a brick wall with a beanie, like doing
It's
like
yeah.
funny, yeah, I always get yeah, sometimes I get envious of that lifestyle. I'm like, "Oh, that seems like so much more."
you know who does it right?
Oh,
Lisa. Don't you think?
Lisa does it right, she does it all.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Lisa's an every night out
yeah.
doing it kind of gal
Yeah.
and seems to still be enjoying it very much.
I can't tell if I don't write enough jokes to be like that or if I don't write enough jokes because I'm not like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if
Mm.
I was doing that, wouldn't I then write the jokes for it or something?
I think some, at least for me, some of what has kept me from being that, and this is me settling into the realization more than I knew this from the start. But I prefer long form ideas, and I
Mm.
Yeah.
prefer
I know,
personal
me too.
narrative, and I don't get as excited about like topical sort of immediate thoughts,
Me
and
too.
so
Yeah.
But
I
then don't you feel
think
like that's
that's
a
what the everyday guys have to be. You have to be like, I had a thought today. I just need to go get it out. And that
Mm.
I
ain't gonna
know.
be
I
my
mean,
shit.
I don't necessarily feel like that, but then also like when you're out in the world, when you're meeting these non-comedy people, when you're meeting these interior designers, and then you tell them that, and it comes up that you do stand up, don't you think it's then you and they discover you're not one of those types of people? Like, don't you then feel sort of like a fraud?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I
When the
guess.
interior designers think you don't perform at the cellar. But no,
I
Langston, that makes
know.
me feel better because I totally agree with you. It's like, I'm not about to talk about I don't even
Yeah. Ray
can't even think of
gun.
a yeah.
Reg,
Yeah.
I know, Reg, I know. Should we all do like? Should we all
Or ray
go?
gun jokes.
Should we all go to
Yeah.
the open mics tonight and do ray gun jokes? Langston,
That's so
do
funny.
you write like long form things? Like,
Like scripts and
well, no,
what?
like I'm doing, I'm working on essays and I've committed to doing, and this is actually a promo plug, but I'm
Okay.
doing, to help me like write towards something, I'm gonna host a reading night at Dynasty next month.
Oh,
But I
That's
don't
that's
so
know who
fun.
does that kind
fun.
of writing, but if you do that kind of writing, I would love to have you, but if you don't,
I would love to do that.
okay, I'll put you
I
on the
don't
list.
currently have a
You could read
bunch of.
anything. You could read anything you want. I think I'll have some. I
That's so
probably just
smart, Pat. I love that.
yeah. Well, they reached out to me to do my hour, and I'm like, I hate my hour. I hate my hour. I hate it. My hour is
Hey,
my worst
you and
enemy.
me both.
Wait,
My
and
hour.
I hate your
where,
hour. No, I'm joking.
when and where did you shoot the special?
I shot it in February at the Green Mill in Chicago.
Oh, I love the
Um,
Green Mill.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I
did
don't
That's the
know
the.
it.
best. It's that place where they do paper machete. Weren't you with me that time?
Never. I
It's
never.
Paper Machete is a 3 p.m. show on a Saturday that I would argue is like the best show in the country. Like
Wow.
truly seems like it's going to be a nightmare because 3 p.m. on a Saturday, but truly always packed wall to wall. People are doing it's a live magazine, so people read poems, they do characters, they
Oh
sing
my
songs,
god.
and people do stand up, and it's always fucking great.
And it's in
Okay.
this like
Cool.
iconic jazz club, and it's like the best vibes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait to watch. So you shot it in
Yeah, it was
February. How does
cool.
it feel to have it out?
It's not out yet, so I
Oh,
don't know. It comes out on
when did it
Tuesday. Oh,
come
well,
out?
yeah, it's out. Oh, sorry, it is out. It's out. Fuck.
When?
And how
It's
does it
out
feel to
because
have it out?
this will be released when
Oh,
it's
I
out.
don't.
But
Okay,
so
so
it's
how
out.
are you psyched? Tell me
I
everything.
am. Yeah,
I love the
it's fucking
title.
cool. John Mulaney directed it.
Oh,
So
cool.
sick.
Uh yeah, he directed and produced it, and we got to do it exactly like we dreamt of doing it,
Oh,
and it's fucking cool.
Was it
that's
a
You
homecoming?
amazing.
Did it feel like a homecoming? Because you were in Chicago.
Yeah, it was nice. All my friends the ones I've kept over the years came out,
The
and
lucky few.
yeah. And the ones that kept me, yeah, they all came out, and my dad was there, and he brought his
Oh,
friends. It
Oh
was
my
nice.
god. Wait, what's the title again?
Bad poetry.
Oh my god, I can't
it's
wait.
so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited
Are you
about
having
it.
a big party? What's happening? When are we
We're gonna
coming?
do a thing at Dynasty.
I
Oh,
would
I
love to be
love
included. I would love to be a huge part of the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Like,
big
I would
premiere at
love to be a
Dynasty. It'll be
huge
great.
part of the It's so
that's
funny.
my favorite bit is either saying that or like if someone like is a kind of a newer friend and they reference like it's as if when I found out that Langston was married, I was like, oh, I would have loved to be included.
Oh my god. And so I guess
Uh,
the next portion of the question is who are you now? So you're a family man, you have a Netflix
uh,
special. What else are you up to? What's your vibe?
I'm just trying to keep these kids alive, keep these bills paid, new chairs every once in a
Wow.
while. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
if you guys could see these chairs, which you can if you stream this amazing episode on YouTube. You can
Wait,
also see my little new comb I have, which is so nice to play with.
we could bleep the ever living fuck out of this, but where in LA are you?
That is
Um,
where I subletted from Lana Del
yeah.
Rey's Healer
you
2
know, I'm
years
writing
ago.
about that right now, Catherine, the essay I'm doing.
What are you saying?
That trip, well, that trip in general. Do you remember that trip for me? My
Well, okay,
storyline.
I was staying in this gorgeous sublet, and there was, like, a little back house, and I was like, "Pat, you can stay with me one night," and he's like, I'm leaving, I'm sorry." I'm like,
Lana Del
"Are
Rey's
you?"
well, it's kind of also about my inward apartment. It's about how no place feels right, and that's why I'm always
Oh,
about to
that'll
move.
be really beautiful.
But it's also kind of about that trip, and it's about like what that set into motion. Do you remember? But
Yeah,
anyway,
weren't you single?
I was single. I went on a date on that trip.
Never forget yes, now I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. And it
and
doesn't
then
matter
I
because
assume this date went perfectly.
yeah.
No hijinks ensued whatsoever.
Well, it is of course a boring essay. Everything I write is so boring. You know, I haven't had an
Pat,
interesting thought since
us
2018.
oh,
Don't say that.
I don't care.
I'm
But
about I'm about to put this hour I'm doing, in the trash on September 1st, and so I'm have to start fresh. Are you starting
Are you
fresh, Langston?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it and it stinks. It's
I
what a
don't know what else
harrowing,
to say.
hard thing to do.
I'm
I
envious of
know.
you both. Because I refuse to record an hour, so I'm always like
But
having
you
to.
should I've been telling you this, you just need to record your hour now, and so you can just move on emotionally. Langston, who do you wanna be? What's your biggest dream?
Uh, uh, I'm not gonna bore you all with
No, we want to know.
entertainment bullshit. I want to
Okay.
dunk. Let's do that. I
Do
want
you
to
want to?
dunk a basketball. I've
You should
never done it,
definitely.
and
You
I
can
still
still.
got time.
You do. You do plyometrics at the gym.
I don't do shit. I
I,
run outside and I do push-ups inside.
where
I don't.
That's
I
great,
Where are
gotta
that's
you
get.
going?
awesome.
Yeah, but I will say
You're
box jumps
busy.
are fun. Box jumps are scary but fun, and because they're
No.
scary, they're funner.
You know
And
what I
then
really want to find is like calisthenics. I want to
yeah,
like if I could find a gym out here that does that and could train me so that I could like be the type of motherfucker that can just pop off pull-ups
yeah.
and do a
Mm.
weird handstand, like that would be fucking cool.
I'm sure there's gyms like that. My gym, I'm sure, has classes like that, but I don't generally engage with them. But did you know that plyometrics are the fountain of youth?
I
What's
didn't know that. Tell me
plyometric?
more.
Like plyometrics are like, box jumps or like anything where you're like lots of explosive movement. It's like that is going to keep you young, apparently more so than anything. I don't do a ton of that, but I do some of it. But everything I'm reading, it's like plyometrics are the fountain of youth. It's what keeps you the
Whoa.
youngest. It's what
I
keeps
feel
you the
so
youngest.
I feel so young.
Yeah, and
And no plyometrics needed.
and I only have to wait out 40 more years. So like I don't need that many plyometrics.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah,
to say you've already put a stamp on your ending.
you're
Yeah.
good. Oh my
Yeah, I don't
god.
Um
wanna admittedly, I don't think I wanna make it to like, to 85,
You can't say
90.
that because now you have kids, and they're gonna say, "Please."
I know.
Yeah, but then I've seen when it becomes burdensome, and I don't want that. I Get me out of here before it's,
Fair enough.
inconvenient for
Yeah, like
everybody.
even though I might have step grandkids, I'm positive they won't care when I die. Like I'm
Yeah,
not thinking
but
about being
that's
like,
the
oh
nice part of it.
my gay step grandpa died. Like I'm over it.
Oh. Oh my god. Wait, do you guys feel hot today?
I'm getting a haircut after, this,
That's
so
exciting.
I'll feel hotter later, and not
Yeah.
as much today.
How regular are you with your haircuts?
How regular is your
Uh
cycle?
Yeah.
Um, heavy flow around,
Yeah.
I am probably like every week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
Wow. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of like rule of thumb for real, like I'm gonna or like when I'm feeling my best, it's like every 2 weeks. But I think this will be an every 4 week that I'm doing now because I don't think I'm gonna have time this weekend. But every week and a half is like that's commitment. You have a
Yeah,
you have
I
someone you
think
love?
yeah, black haircuts are a little more, it's more about, like, keeping it sharp
Yeah.
than I think white haircuts. Y'all can grow it a little bit and it sort of still, is in a style that everybody is cool with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give a black haircut like 2 weeks, everybody's like, "Hey, man,
Hey, I'm not
gotta
cool
get
with
your
this.
shit together."
I'm not cool
Oh my
with
god.
Starting to look a little crazy, my guy.
Oh.
Do you have someone you love haircutting wise? And is the black
No.
you don't? How
He
do you find
wastes so much of my time.
I know.
Oh,
He's constantly late, and he's constantly, he'll stop cutting to tell stories
And then you have to
and
receive the
riff.
story. You have to receive it. It's
you gotta
emotionally
find someone
taxing.
else. That's out of control. That's why I don't ever
I'm
get my
in
haircut.
I'm in true hell, with my barber, and it's truly cowardice that has kept me from going and finding some other person. Even in the shop, I would do better. If I just moved over chairs,
Yeah,
my life would get exponentially more
but
convenient.
then you would feel so guilty for leaving your person.
I couldn't look him in the eye ever again.
Yeah,
He's your
yeah.
And
person. He's your
he
person.
He's your
You're my
lobster. He's your
you're my
lobster.
lobster. Oh my god. I
Um,
I don't really believe it. I don't yeah, my hair doesn't really grow that much.
do you
Anyways,
do you feel hot today?
I do feel hot today because I've, and this is why I'm so sorry you guys are awake at 8:30, but It's almost 6 PM here, so I've lived 1,000 lives today. I even had my picture, taken by a professional, so I did my makeup. I'm feeling good 'cause it's sunny
Wow.
out. It's, I made a pasta dish this afternoon, like, I'm
Wow.
feeling I'm about to meet a friend, I have the show tonight, I'm very in my element here. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's nice. What are you using these pictures for? Are they for a big event or are you just like, nah, I'm gonna make myself some new
No,
headshots?
no, it's just a casual I did some, like, a little interview with a magazine over here, and they're like, "We're gonna snap some pics," and I said
Yeah,
and someone actually told me, I don't know if it's true, but the girl who was doing it, she's like, "These are the steps where they filmed the new Joker, where he's walking down those steps."
sure, yeah.
And
I
I
love the old
I got
Joker.
my
I don't know if
photo
photos for
taken on them, and I was
that.
like, "Me on the Joker steps." But then she was like, "Wait, maybe it isn't the Joker steps." And I was like, "Okay, let's find this out before I post."
Wait,
I was about to say
I
they're in the
really
Bronx, so I doubt
"Oh,
that
really?"
those.
That's so funny. She was like, "They filmed it here in Scotland, and these are the Joker steps." She was so convinced.
Maybe it's the new. Maybe
No, it
there's
is
like
the
new
new,
Joker, not the one that's coming out.
the Gaga one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the original Joker steps are, I think, in the Bronx.
Okay, I
yeah,
gotta go
because
get my picture taken there too.
I
Busy.
loved yeah, I loved the original Joker. I don't apologize, but I had a crazy experience when I saw it, in which like when you're walking like past someone in the movie theater, a girl was eating movie theater nachos, and like I didn't even touch her, but like as I was walking by her, she like spilled her nachos all over herself, and I
Oh
was like, oh my
no.
god! And I'm basically like kind of so yeah, it's so intimate when you're crossing someone over in the movie aisle, of course, because like it's just such close quarters. But it wasn't my fault.
So
Like I didn't mean
inappropriate. It's so
it.
inappropriate.
So then she
Yeah.
was like, "It's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry." And I was like,
You're like
"Well, yeah." I was like,
Yeah, you did
"Yeah."
it.
Yeah, I
She
didn't.
was like, "No, it's fine. I'm just gonna
I,
get new ones." I
I'm
was like,
saying sorry out of just general cordial behavior, not because I feel
"Yeah."
guilt and responsibility.
And I could tell she felt like really evolved that she didn't flip out on me. But I was like, just so you know, like it- it's not evolved. Anyway, I'm
Do you
with
feel
Catherine.
hot today, Pat?
I don't,
No,
only because I was so stressed. First of all, I wasn't quite as strong as I thought I might be at the gym, which is like never like a great feeling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's so
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
But
and I'm sorry
last week,
too.
it's kind of because last week, this day, I kind of exceeded expectations, and so then I tried to exceed even those expectations, and it was just too much accession for 2 weeks.
Accession on HBO.
And then and then this is just the first hour of like truly a 13-hour work block that will be, and so like even when people were talking to me at the gym, I just couldn't like, I was being stressed to them. You're being stressed to people and you're like, I have to stop, but I can't. Like I couldn't give them joy. I was giving them like, I'm fine,
Yeah.
just
Mm,
like a crazy day, just like a crazy day. Like I'm fine. How are you? Like I was doing that, and that's never when it feels hot. And
yeah.
then I just yeah, so no, but and also I didn't have time to shower just out of the gym, so, like, now I'll shower, but and my hair, like, it's time for sure, but, like, I'm not doing it, and, I'm not gonna do
There's
it until
always
next Sunday.
something.
There's
La
always something there, but I am getting a massage on Monday from someone called
Okay.
Bye.
Ricky. Someone called Ricky that I was, like, recommended, but, when someone recommends a massage, like, it's like, you're gonna be taken care of, but also, like, the one thing I'm going and knowing, someone said he's great. He wears those toe shoes, like finger toe shoes. So like I
Oh
just know going.
no.
So that's just what I know going in. He's great, but he's gonna be wearing those shoes.
I
Do
was
we
about
just
to say that's not that. I hope that's not a plus in your
a
book. That
selling
you're like,
point.
Not
you're like, oh, I didn't know he was that cool. Hell yeah.
yeah. So
Oh,
we'll
it's like
see.
that, you said. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like that. Okay.
It's
I'm
like
gonna
it is like that.
wear my
It
good
is it
robe
is
for
like that.
him.
It is like that. Um, you guys, do you have a crush of the week? And it can be a person, place, thing, idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Who's
an
my?
exciting question.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you know what I'm doing? Rewatching 30 Rock to remember when TV was allowed to be funny.
It's so
And
fucking funny.
well, I just there was the funniest Jenna joke, and like this joke is like my crush of the week, where it was the episode where Emily from Friends is dating Jack Donaghy, and he wants her to go to lunch with Liz and Jenna to like have a girls' day, and they're eating lunch, and Jenna was like, "Oh, how Sex in the City are we? I'm Samantha, and she went to the woman. She's like, and you're Charlotte, and she went to Liz. I was like, and you're the lady watching at home. And it made me laugh so hard. And I was like, that
That's
is
really funny.
the joy of a my question of the week is the joy of a well-written joke.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's what a great show, huh?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, rural juror every
I-
time. Every time.
Yeah. I
and
always think of the the werewolf bar mitzvah.
yes, I just
That
got to that
Yes.
episode. I just got to the episode. Is a joke I think about all the time since it originally aired, where Jenna's like on the Japanese porn star diet, where she can only eat paper, but she can eat all the paper she wants.
Well, I have to share this. I have to share. At the time of this airing, the new season of Only Murders in the Building will have come out, and I finally got to see. I finally got to see some of the screeners, and there are some very well written jokes in there. Particularly one of my favorite people of all time, Molly Shannon, just delivers
Oh
every
my god.
line, just never misses. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
She's
and
very
plugging that.
she is having a renaissance, I feel.
Her career is like my dream, and she's the
Yeah.
nicest person in the world, and such
Yeah.
just queen. My crush of the week besides Molly Shannon. Hmm. 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 Sorry. Well, I really want to I'm like, what's really been exciting? Well, what's really been exciting me is I just started the new Love is Blind UK season, and thus far it's really good.
It is really good.
Did you watch
They,
it all? Okay.
they I don't know that it's finished, right? It's all the way done?
No,
Or
I
is
don't
it
think so. I've
still
only watched like the first 3 episodes, but it's promising. The couples are promising.
I'm like 5 or 6 in, and yeah, they seem a lot more genuine,
Yes.
and the show seems a lot more well-intentioned for the UK folks. Like
Yes.
they're really vile with Americans. Like
Oh my god.
they keep them drunk the whole time, and they sort of like are constantly putting them in these weirder situations. And this one's
Yeah.
just like, no, you guys should probably have your own private time and be sober for most
Yeah.
of this
It's
interaction.
crazy, like, how
I'm not
drunk
doing
people
Love
get on
Island this
reality
year.
TV.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched all of Love Island US. I just finished it. It was really good. Did
Wow.
you watch Love Island, Langston?
I don't. My wife is currently watching it, and keeps trying to tell me about it, and I can't bring
It's
myself to
so
give it
good.
shit.
I wanna say this, if you're listening, if you know, you know. Rob, I fucking hate Rob. He represents every guy who's a piece of shit. I don't care how sexy he might be with that snake tattoo. I hate Rob. Okay.
Oh, I've seen him with the snake tattoo.
He is a
Oh,
It's
really?
skinny around, but it goes all yeah, I've
Is
seen
he
him.
UK or US?
No, he's US, and he's like
Should I watch it?
it's so good, even from Jump, it's so good.
Okay, maybe I'll
You'll
check
love
it.
it.
Not
It's
Rob
so
though. Don't
sexy.
you fall in love with Rob,
I know.
baby.
Everyone's falling in love with Rob.
I
You'll
always
like
like the
it.
toxic ones. I always like the mean ones that are toxic and bad.
Okay, wait,
But
Langston, what's your crush?
Oh man. I was hoping this question never got to me, that we would riff our way through all of yours. You know what this is not of the week, but it certainly is the most recent crush I've been having is we started really looking for the obscure shit in for the Olympics, like just more of
Mm.
the less exciting high profile competitions. Like
Yeah.
we found Olympic trampolining,
Oh
and
my
that was
god.
like, oh, this is fucking cool. Look at
I
them.
can't even picture that.
Yeah,
What's
they
the
get these
point?
giant trampolines. They're jumping like 40 feet in the air, and you have to like stay in the middle of the trampoline to earn points as you do very
Oh my
complicated
god.
flips and shit. And then if you fall off the trampoline, you don't get to restart. That's just your turn. You're
Oh my
done.
god.
So motherfuckers go out there, they do a cartwheel and they fall off, and then they're like, you're done with the Olympics.
Oh my
That's it.
god. The
Oh
stakes
my
couldn't be
god.
higher. I love
That was great.
Ever since I started weighing more than 100 pounds, which was in the 2nd grade when I stepped on a scale and it said 102, shout out, I have been too scared of trampolines because I go too high, and I don't like it. Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Okay. Now our last segment, we just like to check in because
Oh, yeah, we
Langston,
should
are you
check
mad
in.
at me? And Catherine, are you mad at me? Because of my energy I came in with of being frantic about my headphones.
I'm not
No,
mad at you, but Langston, are you mad at us because admit it, we asked you to do a podcast at 8:30 AM.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
a- you asked me to do a podcast at 8:30 a.m. and there were no other times presented.
I know this is the only time we could. This is the only time we could
It was
do.
either 8:30 a.m. on a Friday or 8:30 a.m. on I believe, a Monday.
I
And
know we're
I
officially
opted.
we're morning radio hosts.
And
We
I'm
used
not
to
mad
be.
at you. This has been a lovely time. I'm so
Aw,
grateful that we got to talk all this shit together.
I know. We love you and
Totally.
congrats on the new special. I can't
Congrats, I
wait to
can't wait to
watch.
see it. And I'm gonna reach out.
Thank
My
you.
reading night is gonna be on 9/20. Everyone should come. And I'm gonna reach out to Langston and
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
I hope feel more than empowered to say no if it's not
A
what he
fit.
wants.
Creatively a fit. And if your wife wants to talk Love Island, I am here and I'm available. And our
And
producer
never
wants to
is.
say, our producer says sorry about the weird times. Tevi, don't apologize. It's actually my fault because I'm bouncing over here 9 hours ahead of you bitches.
And I couldn't do any airtime either because of work. And
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's
so,
I don't resent it at all.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
that was your whole
Well,
point.
thank you for joining us. That is what we call our episode. And when a heart breaks,
When
it
a heart
won't break
breaks, it don't
even.
break even.
It don't break even.
Treatment. If you're boring as fuck, seek treatment. If you're unlucky in love, seek treatment. If you just can't take a hint, well, seek treatment. With Kat and Pat.
That was a Headgum podcast.